You're listening to the True North Success Podcast. Real stories of personal, professional, and financial wins from Alberta's best. With your hosts, Gary Ma and Amy Kim.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Today, my special guest is Shahiem Hartley. Shahiem is a physician leader with over 20 years of experience across clinical medicine, research, and pharmaceuticals in South Africa and Canada. So having served as a family physician and national medical director, academic researcher, a lecturer, and a pharmacist, he brings a systems level of perspective and a passion for collaborative and globally minded healthcare innovation. It's a real pleasure to have him on the show today. Welcome, Shahiem.
Thank you, Amy. This has been it's a pleasure, and I look forward to spending some time with you on the True North Success Podcast. It's been something I've been following as well. So thank you for having me.
Oh, awesome. So I gave you a brief overview of success. So can you feed in the detail of what you do and what are your main clients, if there's any, and how long you've been doing this for?
So I came to Canada in 2017. I came as a general practitioner from South Africa. And as you know, we, as South African doctors, we have to do examinations. And so I had to do that. And once I completed my examinations, or certification actually, I then started working at a clinic as an associate. And then I moved on to Canada's medical clinic, where I am based now at the moment. And I'm the National Medical Director of Canada's Medical Clinic. I'm also a full-time family physician. And that's been my journey over the last 2.5 years. And I'm really enjoying it. It's been a great change for me.
Mm-hmm. So could you tell us a little bit more about your story, how you get started in your career? And I understand that you immigrated from South Africa. So what was the defining moment that you would like to come to Canada? And then that shape the path you're on today?
Yeah, so I'm from a place called Cape Town, South Africa. I can tell you that the temperature there is plus 30 degrees at the moment. It's really hot. It's a beautiful place of South Africa, Cape Town. If you stand in the middle of Cape Town and you drive about maybe 25 minutes, you can find about 2 different beaches. You can find the Atlantic Ocean on the one side, and you can find the Indian Ocean on the other side. Mm. So in South Africa, I studied, when I completed grade 12, I did pharmacy, and I completed the pharmacy degree. I worked for a couple of years. And my path in life was I was always ambitious, and I always wanted to try different things. When I did pharmacy for a few years, I decided to do my master's in cardiovascular physiology. That was fantastic. It was a great opportunity for me. I got to teach students, and I completed my master's. When I did that, the question was, what was I going to do now? And fortunately for me, I got an opportunity to study in Johannesburg in South Africa at the University of Witwatersrand. And I did medicine. I completed my medicine, and then I went back to Cape Town to do my residency for 2 years. And then I did various things in medicine. I did male circumcision surgery. I did medical insurance and a number of other things. But ultimately, I felt that I wanted a different challenge. I wanted to see what the world had to offer. And Canada became that opportunity for me. And then I was fortunate that we moved in 2017. My wife and my 2 boys, we came over to Canada, and it was a new experience. But as you know, the immigrant journey it's not easy. It's not easy to leave. People know you. I believe you came from Korea, and I came from Cape Town. So your hometown, everybody knows you. You know where the store is. You know how to drive. You know what the language is. You understand the accents. And when I came to Canada in 2017, in February, it was minus 40 degrees. So from somebody
that's 30.
Yeah. So when I came in 2017, the coldest I ever experienced was plus 10 degrees Celsius. And to experience minus 40 was an absolute culture shock. So that was one thing. The second thing was to drive on the right-hand side of the road. In South Africa, we drive on the left-hand side of the road. And I had to, even though I've been driving for 20 years, I had to get a learner's license. I had to apply for a driver's license. And so apply for a bank account. So the one thing Canada teaches you, and any immigrant can understand this, is that you really have to start from the bottom. You have to earn all the things that you've had in your home country. You now have to earn it. And Canada helps you to a point, but you really have you have to have what I call grit. And this will be my next episode in my podcast will be grit. It's something where you have perseverance to push through in difficult circumstances. And so I'm sure you can appreciate Amy as well, that when you came over, it's not easy, and you have to really stand on your own two feet and push through. And so with that, I completed my certification in medicine, and I was able to become a family physician and start helping Canadians in Edmonton.
Awesome. Yeah, so as an immigrant, and then I had to adjust from plus 30 to minus 30. That's a lot of, even sometimes minus 40. So that just itself requires lots of adjustment, and deal with those shocks. But also you have like 20 years of experience across clinical medicine and research and pharmaceuticals and leaderships. So you have so many hats in, both South Africa and Canada. You're wearing lots of hats in, South Africa and Canada. So you bring a very rare systems level perspective to the healthcare. So I can, like, you shared a little bit about your background, your more a little bit about resiliences, and you always like to be a little bit more, doing more for people. Would you be able to share a little bit, like, what do you believe sets you apart from other like Fitchcon leaders?
I think it's the one thing is mentorship. It's something I really value. Throughout my career, I've had one or two mentors who are people that will stand with you, and they want to see you do well. And when you've done really well, they'll tell you, "You've outgrown me. I want you to carry on this good work." And mentorship is it, in certain countries, people often they help you, but there's a price attached to it. There's a debt, either a financial debt, or it's a emotional debt that you owe them. And so what I strive, what makes me different, and I'm doing it in my own clinic, is to help people with no expectations, and to help people with the idea that when I've helped you as the best that I can, that you are able to go on and be the best version of yourself. And so that's one of the things from a personality point of view that I always strive to be. From a educational point of view, with my varied degrees that I have and able to work in both South Africa and Canada, it certainly gives me a perspective to really look at the healthcare system from South Africa and Canada. And also, I tell Canadians, I'm a Canadian myself, as are you, but I tell my patients that, having come from South Africa, to get free healthcare, to be able to see your doctor every day, to have referrals to specialists, this is something we should really be grateful for. Every system is not perfect. There are always flaws and things are always not great. But I can tell you from where I've been to where we are now, the healthcare system here it's amazing. And as Canadians, we should appreciate that. Having said that, though, there's always room for improvement, but it's a great system.
Yeah, oh, it's great to hear. So yeah, you saw the both medical systems in different countries, and what is the biggest difference you would just say compared to South Africa and then Canada? Like you mentioned that Canada, we get to see our doctor more often. Other than that, is there anything else would you like to share?
I think the big difference for me, well, there are many. So the one I'll focus on is the financial difference. In South Africa, 20% of the country, 20% of the population has got 80% of the resources.
Mm-hmm.
So that means there's a few select people, and basically middle class and upper class, who they have the most of the resources. Whereas 80% of the country, which is the vast majority of people which are in the lower class, have access to only 20% of the healthcare. So that's a staggering statistic, and it's always been something that as students we were taught. And so, it's not in this country, everybody has access to the resources. And again, I understand that, there are slight differences. People, the access is not the same, but theoretically, people have access better than in other countries.
Awesome. Yeah. I really love your story that like as a physician, sometimes we feel like we're just having a transactional interactions, but not there's not many physicians out there actually care about actually what's really happening with that individual. So it's good to have that. I think physicians we are always looking for and having that physician in our life. So yeah, I can see the values of the services that you are offering. So for any listeners who are, physicians or researchers or healthcare professionals considering stepping into leadership or, broader impact roles, what advice would you offer? Were there those like any specific mindset shift or experience that helps you evolve from practicing medicine to influencing healthcare systems?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it depends on your personality. It depends on what are your goals going forward. For some doctors, some physicians, their passion is to stay in the clinic. Their passion is their patient. The passion is their patients. Their passion is their clinic. So they share their expertise and they share their medical knowledge with their clinic only. Then for some of us, after a certain time, you want to expand your abilities to help. So you want to think about on a larger scale. And so I had the privilege of working at Primary Care Network in Edmonton, where I was sitting on the physician advisory committee as the chairman, and also on the board of PCN. And this allowed me to understand medicine from a wider perspective. So not looking just at a clinic, looking at multiple clinics throughout Edmonton West. And it was a great learning curve for me in terms of able to understand that there's medicine at the local level, and that there's also medicine at a much broader level. And it was really an eye opener for me. Some of my colleagues have really decided to move on from clinical medicine and go into I would call it corporate medicine, or looking at medicine from a national point of view, and that becomes their stepping stone. So for me, the stepping stone was certainly to go into an organization that was involved in national health, and it's something that you should network with. Something that is very underrated amongst physicians, and I would say in any profession, is to network with people that have the same interests as you, that they will open up other doors for you, other avenues for you, and make it easy for you to move into certain directions. Some directions you might feel it's good for you, but people with experience, and again, having a good mentor will tell you, what, you can do whatever you want to do, but my advice would be maybe don't do that, or don't do it now. Try this first. So that would be my advice. Move with people in a direction that you feel is where you want to be. Ask them for advice. Ask them for introductions via email or in person. And that certainly becomes a stepping stone for you to move into your career, whether it be in clinical, at the local level, or at the national level.
Oh, awesome. Because, as a entrepreneur in a real estate, realm, that I also was able to find some mentors, and it really helped me grow my business and my mindset, all that. So is it easy to find a mentor in the medical industry? Like how easy? Because in real estate, I know there's some programs out there you have to pay for to get that mentorship. So it's a little bit foreign to me that like mentorship is available in a medical industry. But I would guess that like every industry has some kind of mentorship available.
Yeah, so for me, it's been a challenging career to find a mentor. And so that's why since I cannot find somebody to mentor me, I've decided to help mentor people. And so I've mentored one of our MOAs, who is she's a IMG, an international medical graduate, and she shadowed with me, and she's now I can happily say that she's going to start a medical residency in Calgary in June in July 2026. So that was somebody I helped in my own way to help her get a residency. I've got another doctor that's working with me. He's from the Philippines. So I'm mentoring him as well. And so these are things that I'm doing. Like I said, I struggle to find somebody to help me. And so rather than wait, I've decided to help people. And it's been something I've been doing my whole life. But here in Canada, as a family physician, you are able to help people in a more specific way. So this is to help people start their careers, to help them start their journey, and to move on with their lives.
Wow. I love that. When
Thank
we
you.
cannot find someone who can help solve your problems, you just become a problem solver yourself. And
That's
then
it.
help the other
That's it. Sometimes you have to, you're waiting for somebody your whole life. Why don't you be that person?
Yeah, I love that. So, what is the one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome in your career so far?
I think in South Africa, it was different. I had good family support. I could change my career and move on. In Canada, when you come to Canada, you're very much alone. There are people that help you for certain reasons. But if you want to make your own career in Canada, you have to have grit. You have to have the ability to focus on what you want and then push through it. There are many days which are good, which you enjoy, but as we know, there are many days where life is tough and you have to get up, put your boots on, and get on with it. So that is something that's very underestimated, but it's something that's essentially it's needed. Like I said in my own podcast, that everybody wants motivation, but discipline eats motivation for breakfast. Meaning that everybody wants to be motivated, but start with discipline. Start with a good routine every day, and once you build the discipline, the consistency will come from itself, and then later on the motivation comes. So the challenge is to focus on what it is that you want from Canada, what it is that you want from your life. I'm going to be 50 this year, so I have still a few more years left in me to do maybe one or two big things in my life, and that's the challenge. And once the other thing I've always learned is that an idea in your mind is a dream, but once you write it down, it becomes a plan. So I've got my plans written down, and the idea is to follow through with it.
Yeah, I love that. Actually, I was looking into like how you get motivated all the time. Like how do you inspire to get up in the morning with excitement every day? So that really makes sense. And like I totally agree with you that you have to just keep moving, and then rather than waiting for one day you will get a motivation, you just gotta keep going, and then the motivation comes along when you have a clear vision and the discipline. So thank you. That's awesome. So it sounds like your things are doing really good for you and your business. Would you be able to share like exciting plans or initiatives do you have upcoming over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that I have. The one is my Dr. Shahiem Hartley's podcast. That is not for financial gain. I help a lot of patients in my clinic on a day-to-day basis, and so there are certain themes that I use constantly. And so rather than speak to one patient at a time, which I enjoy, as you are doing, it's to inspire people on a mass scale. So that's something I'm certainly looking forward to. In terms of my clinic that I'm working to, Canada's Medical Clinic here at the moment, the clinic, we just opened up a clinic in Barrie, and we're looking to open up another clinic in Calgary soon. So that's from Canada's Medical Clinic where I'm working at the moment. From myself, I'm looking to open up my own company, but that's on a need to know basis. I'll fill you in at the next time we have a podcast. I'll let you know how that company is doing.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so it sounds like you're going really well for you and then your business, and congratulations with all the podcasts and exciting plans too. And I'm mentoring other international the physicians. So many busy medical professionals are earning strong incomes right now. but it often requires a significant, investment of time and the energy. And looking ahead, a common goal is that to maintain the same level of income or lifestyle while working less, especially with inflation at all-time highs. As a result, many people are exploring ways to generate income outside of their primary work, such as investing in stock or cryptocurrency and precious metal, gold, silver, or like a real estate. What are your thoughts about income outside of work?
I think it's an absolute necessity at the moment. I don't think it's a choice. We all have to have a second and third stream of income. It's something that's it's I'm sure you know, Amy. It's a very wide topic, and a lot of it depends on are you playing the short game or the long game. Are you risk averse or are you risk tolerant? So that puts you in a category where you want to be, and how tolerant you are of risk. And so, the safe bet is to do the real estate, buy a property, put a tenant in there. You can use the Smith maneuver to help offset your I'm sure you know about that too. That's something I've been looking at, the Smith maneuver to reduce your principal on your home loan. So that's something interesting to talk about. The other part is within medicine, a lot of physicians, they don't work outside of the clinic. They always stay within medicine. And I've certainly explored many options that what else can I do besides a medical doctor? And so, rental income, that'll be one. I'm not a fan of cryptocurrency. Maybe I'm old school. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do really well with crypto. I'm not a fan of it. And then again, the EFTs and these stocks, a lot of these stocks, it's also the long game. You have to, you're looking at a 10-year, 20-year plan. I'm not an expert on that, so I'll leave those to the experts. But what I would say is that find something that fits in your niche. Find something that sits with you comfortably. And if you have money to invest it. But having a side job and is absolutely essential.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. I was very impressed that because not everybody understand how the maneuver works and how it can be beneficial. So definitely that I can see that you are looking into and creating more incomes out of work as well. So, these days just creating a multiple income stream is so important. So as a wrapping up our interview, could you share your thoughts with our audience? That is something we haven't talked yet.
No, I think we've covered all the important topics. I mean that we spoke about, that we agreed on. I just think the one thing I would say is, and it's something from Tony Robbins, where he says that the life you experience is the life you choose. So as human beings, when we wake up in the morning, my take on that statement is that we all wake up with, you can go to the default program, which is to be sad and to be frustrated and to be agitated. So that's the life that you will experience. But if you choose the positive life, then you will experience that life. Things will go well for you, and it won't go well tomorrow. But if you choose every day to be positive, to be empathetic, and to be grateful, then your life will change. You will rewire your brain and you will have better experiences in life. So that would be my one takeaway message, is to don't default to the normal life. Default to a life that's positive, that's empathetic, and that's always moving forward in a positive direction.
I love that, Shahiem. Thank you so much for your time today and sharing some of your great insights and inspiring stories with us. It was a great pleasure to have you on the show today. If people would like to connect with you, how they can get a hold of you, maybe including your podcast information too.
Sure. Thank you. Well, before I say that, thank you, Amy. It's been an absolute pleasure to be on the True North Success podcast. I wish you all the best with this, and it's truly inspirational what you're doing on the show. We really appreciate it. For viewers who are interested in my podcast, it's Dr. Shahiem Hartley's podcast. It's on YouTube and it's on Spotify, and you can find me also on LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. We truly appreciate your time and perspective you brought to the conversation, Shahiem.
Thank you so much, Amy. All the best.
Thank you.
Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at truenorthsuccessshow.com/guest. We'd love to hear from you.